I'm James AULD, commentator for the British Rental Kart Championship here at Formula Fast in Milton Keynes. It's the 10th anniversary year and it's going to be the best one yet. Welcome everybody, I'm James AULD, the commentator for the British Rental Kart Championship, and welcome to the 2020 edition. This is going to be the 10th British Rental Kart Championship and possibly the best one yet. With that in mind, we're going to go back a little bit and have a look at where it all began, actually around a breakfast table at Bedford Autodrome.
You mentioned that there was this interesting event that happened in other parts of the world, and normally in America at the time, which was called the Indoor Kart World Championship. And I investigated it and found it was affordable, and the next thing I knew I was on a plane out to Phoenix meeting a load of Belgians and Dutch guys and generally getting my arse kicked and having a great time. And I came back and told you how brilliant rental karting was and how much I enjoyed it. And so you and I looked for a national kind of series for us to enter.
There wasn't really anything that we could find. I mean, obviously the internet wasn't quite as strong at this day. The algorithms on Facebook weren't so good to guide you into things, and we just couldn't find anything to do. So something had to be done, really, didn't it?
Yeah, I think
the only way we could get one was to create it.
We wanted something a little bit more serious. So you and I together had a lot of phone conversations, and along with my girlfriend Rebecca and Alex VANGEEN, we set about trying to create one.
Brad came to me with an idea for a rental kart series, and we picked tracks based on people we knew and who would buy in to what we were doing, and it wouldn't just be we're just a group that have turned up with some drivers. We wanted to make it mean something. I remember Brad wanting to spend an absolute fortune. He wanted to buy everything, and I had to really try and rein him in.
And by the beginning of 2011, we'd come up with a list of 6 tracks that we decided we were going to travel to.
I just remember being really exciting, and then all of a sudden we were in Birmingham.
And we had an entry list of around 30 drivers, and the next thing we knew, found ourselves at Birmingham Wheels for the first race.
And there was just this whole group of people, and we took a whole big group shot. It's just built and built and built, and now we've got 100 people here. It's phenomenal.
In 2011, the first BRKC champion was crowned. That was Chris Hackworth. 2012, 2013 went the way of Lee Hackett, again, multi-round championships. But 2014 to date, there's only been one man to beat. That's Dutchman Ruben Boutens.
My first memory is the 2013 championship, which started in London. Remember that I finished third behind Lee Hackett and Sean Brierley. It has become much more and more professional during the years, which was also made possible by Formula Fast Karting in Milton Keynes. What makes BRKC really stand out from other championships for me is that it's so professional, and the way they arrange the covering of the whole, the coverage of the whole championship. Yeah, that's something I think no other championship has been able to match as of today.
It's Ruben Boutens wins the title.
I think the best memory is for sure my first title in 2014.
It's Ruben Boutens, the British Championship. It's going to go for the second time in succession.
So the year after, I remember that I was challenged really hard by Ed White, Matthias Groten and Stefan Verhofstadt.
It's going to be a 4 times champion of the British Rental Kart Championship.
I think it's increased the quality and especially the level of drivers from all over Europe that it attracted.
And there's Ruben Boutens in the lead, just 1 minute 10 remaining. There's Ruben Boutens. Is he going to make it 6 British Championships in a row? Ed White is the one place to challenge him. Ed White is second, but he's not close enough. They're into the final minute, Spanners. They're into the final minute as Ruben Boutens continues around the snail section in the lead with Ed White in tow. Surely this is going to be the last lap, maybe. We'll see if they're preparing to check a flag. And this is it for the British Championship. The British champion of 2019 is going to be the epic Ruben Boutens. Wins it again, 6 consecutive championships. What can you say? Ruben Boutens, the finest rental kart driver, the finest indoor kart driver in the world, has managed to make it 6 consecutive British Championship.
I think the greatest challenge every year is to stay sharp, to not rely on past successes or on your experience in BRKC or on the track in Milton Keynes. The most important thing is to enjoy the weekend. It's a great weekend with many drivers from all over Europe. It's great to meet new people, to be challenged by other drivers, and maybe one advice is don't get frustrated quickly when a race didn't go as you wanted, and stay focused and keep going on to the next one.
Over the past decade, the BRKC changed and evolved. We've caught up with some of the participants about their memories and why they keep coming back to the British Rental Kart Championship.
I used to work at Herefordshire Raceway, one of the first venues used for the first couple of championships. I remember Brad came with Alex VANGEEN, had a couple of sessions on the circuit. They wanted to test it out, see if it would work in the series, and it worked very well for the first few years.
Me and Brad were trying to come up with a calendar, and we drove to Hereford to go and test out the track because we'd never been there before, and we loved the track as soon as we got there. And it was just a really great day, and we're like, this thing's going to work and it's going to be really, really good.
My first memory of BRKC was in 2012 when I turned up at Manchester Daytona, thinking, what have I got myself in for? But straight away, as soon as I entered the venue, everyone made me feel so welcome. It was such a friendly atmosphere, and I think that's what kept bringing me back.
My first memory of BRKC is the very first round. I've done every single race in the last 10 years. It was actually my first ever competitive race. I'd never done anything beyond the occasional team sport local round, not even the team sport championships at that stage, and it was quite daunting.
So when I first competed, as I said, it was this multi-series where we raced across the country. You got to try out a few circuits, meet the locals, which I really enjoyed. But now, obviously, it's a single circuit at Formula Fast.
The things that's changed is the people. We had a small number to start with, and we grew and we grew and we grew. And the people who we've known for all these years now have just changed. Their lives have completely changed. And we've just been on this big journey with everybody that we now all consider dear friends. And BRKC now in January is a social event with some karting that happens.
The friendly family feel that we all love so much and what's made the competition so popular has never really left us. There's always been this core group from the start, but it's never been exclusive. Everyone's come in. It's got to the point where I don't even remember who I ended up meeting first.
It's probably staying warm. January in a cold warehouse, it's a bad combination. Make sure you bring plenty of layers, stand next to the heaters, and you'll be fine.
I know people want me to say pit stops, so I'm going to put that up there, probably my top 3. My biggest challenge over the first few years was consistency. I had some raw pace from the start, but I never managed to make it. I never managed to hook it up.
Got to be the first title that I won back in 2012, I think it was. The last race was horrible and wet at Birmingham Wheels, and the championship was really close with Sean Briley. Luckily, kept it on the tarmac in the wet, crossed the line. I think it was about 6th place. It was enough to take the title that year.
The biggest challenge was when I went indoor. I'm by no means an indoor specialist. I think I struggled a lot more than I did. And the 1 year I did all right, I had to work really, really hard. I did quite a lot of practice. I had to really, really work on my qualifying.
So for me, I think a really big thing about doing BRKC is like the family feel that you get. The track staff are so friendly, competitors are always great to race against. And I think occasionally you get a few people that aren't there, and a few new drivers, but it's generally sort of the same 50 or 60 people.
People, wherever they finish 1 to 100, tend to leave with a smile on their face, and you do not find that at many other competitions.
The series now has got live footage, live streams, the commentator James Fold, great competitive racing. I think that it's just, it feels like such a great family.
It's the camaraderie. There's no real massive egos there. Everyone's there to help each other out, and everyone's happy to lend advice, and everybody gets on, and it's a big social atmosphere. It's such a nice environment to be in.
At the level of competition, it seems to just get harder and harder each year. The average score of getting into the semi-finals keep going up, and every year just seems more and more harder and difficult. I think that's clearly what sets it above everything else. Make sure you bring your painted lid. Everyone knows it gives you an extra few pence, and you'll definitely need it.
Yeah, good luck, I think, is the first thing. There's some amazing drivers there. Something you need to do, I think, is at any venue is practice. And another thing is, don't expect too much. It's your first year. I mean, Ruben is going to be there again. I forget how many titles he's won, so you can't expect to go out and win it on the first go, but get there and enjoy it.
The standard is stupidly high, and really you should just be focusing on what the others are doing. You should find those people who are consistently at the top, like Ruben, like Ed White, and watch what they're doing. If they're at the top for a reason, they're consistently at the top for a reason. What is the reason?
Just enjoy it. It's such a great event, you meet loads of nice people, and the racing is pretty darn close.
So, on to 2020. Now, the championship remains unchanged essentially, but behind the scenes, there are, as always, plenty of improvements coming and changes for this year. So over to Phil Stanley, the circuit owner, to explain those.
Hi everyone, so my name's Phil, I'm the circuit owner and the race director for BRKC. We've got some great improvements this year. It's the 10th anniversary for BRKC and there's some really cool stuff that we've got coming up for this year's event. The major one that we want to talk about is the driver dashboards. So as well as the dashboards this year, we've also installed permanent sector timing for the drivers on track, so you'll be able to split up your lap time, which will mean that for the duration of the BRKC week, drivers will be able to have their sector times and their pit stop times with a lot more accuracy than we did last year. So for the spectators, we're also planning a big upgrade for this year. And finally guys, as always, we've tightened up the rules for this year. I would really strongly encourage all drivers to have a really good read of the rules before they compete in this year's event. it really can make the difference between doing well and doing not so well. Every year we have someone that misses out on a very important part, particularly with regards to the pit stops, and that really can make or break your BRKC event. I'd also strongly advise people to read the practice rules this year. There's a couple of tweaks to the practice sessions which are going to be very important for BRKC 2020. Good luck to all drivers, and we'll see you at the track.
Okay, so that's the preview for the 2020 British Rental Kart Championship. This 10th anniversary is going to be the best one yet. It's going to be something special, and we'll be here live from Formula Fast on the live stream on the British Rental Kart Championship YouTube page, and please join us for that. Ruben Boutens, the reigning champion, has got 99 problems coming at him, and 2 of them are world champions, including the current world champion, Michael Schuttler. It's going to be the first time these 2 have met each other on track since the epic final last summer. What's going to happen? Join us on the live stream, British Rental Kart Championship, all the races live. It's going to be an epic one.